Mr. Meester? Present. Okay. Mr. Hart?
Present.
And Mr. Hadley?
Here.
Mr. Bush is absent. Moving on to 2.0 prayer. Is there anyone who would like to start this meeting with a prayer? All right, moving on to 3.0 approval of agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Moved by Mr. Hart, seconded by Mr. Hadley. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to 4.0, review and approval of meeting minutes from the June 12, 2024 meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Moving on to 5.0, approval of claims. Our claims for cash requirements, $24,955.52, manual $75,658.89, with a total of $100,614.41. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the claims? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Moving on to 6.0, public comment. Is there anyone in the room who would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, moving on to 7.0, reports to the committee. 7.1 is presenting Judge Hauser, who is not here, and I do not have a report from him. So we'll move on to 7.2, public defender. I also,
His report was
in the
emailed
packet.
in the packet. I did not know he was not going to be present.
have any questions on his report or comments on his report? Moving on to 7.3, probation.
Good evening, everyone. So just a few updates, I guess. So beginning with PO week, coming up within the next couple of weeks. And I just wanted to share that one of the things I'm doing this year is bringing in a counseling service to talk with us about our own mental health and our physical health. Finding that the POs are struggling some with balancing act, and also with losing clients, they're internalizing it a lot more. So hopefully this will be something good. So we've got some fun activities planned. Today just received a copy letter from Chief Judge Ackert. So good news, stating that they were pleased to inform her that the Supreme Court has reviewed and approved the recertification of the Stephenson County Drug Court. Congratulations to you and your problem-solving court team members. So certifications for another 3 years. So thanks to everyone who has been a part of that in the past. You know, Carl was part of the initial group that got the drug court started, and from there we've continued on. So it's a team effort. So it's very good news, and it takes a little pressure off once that research comes in. So that is good news. I will be on vacation. That is good news. In August. So I will not be present for the budget presentation. I believe Georgia will be presenting that, and I will be working with Ryan to make sure he has full understanding of my budget. I don't have anything that should be complex. So other than that, and I guess I can introduce, she can introduce herself. Martrice Collier is here. I know there was interest in Goodwill and reentry services. So I did ask her to come today. She graciously said yes. I'll let her
Good
take it from
afternoon.
here.
So I do like a number of things. First and foremost, the first thing that we do is reduce that barrier of getting your vital records. A lot of our guys coming home or ladies coming home, they do not have a birth certificate, ID, or social security card. And they have no idea how to obtain that. And sometimes that can be difficult in itself, depending on their circumstances. I also help them navigate community resources, because a lot of resources that we have in town, people do not know about them. The only thing that they know about is life. And we have so much more. And those that come out of prison, I help them like to schedule their days, because a lot of times they're just thrown into water and expected to just swim. And a lot of them don't know how to function without a day-to-day routine. So I help them with that. And then also I do the employability course. We have one coming up in September. That's going to be geared towards probation and the community.
What is it called? Employment, I'm sorry.
Employability,
Employment.
that's to teach individuals about those transferable skills,
Mhm.
like communication. A lot of people lack that.
Who teaches that?
It's different community partners. I teach some of those classes.
Mhm.
It depends who I can get to come in to teach the different courses.
Who are your community partners?
I partner with probation. I partner with the TRIO program. I partner with Highland. I partner with,
TRIO program?
yes,
I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
as a program out at Highland.
Oh,
That
okay.
it's geared towards people, older people getting back into school.
Okay.
Workforce connection.
Mhm. What does probation have to do with this? You do some training, doctor?
I don't do the training anymore.
Okay.
That's what
We get-
Goodwill does.
We get
Get the
You
referral.
get the referrals.
Yes.
And then you guys manage all of those referrals.
Yeah.
How many people are you having through this program? However you measure it.
Our last class, we had 13.
13. How about on an annual basis?
I usually only hold about 2 classes per year. The more we get situated with whether it's going to be community-based or probation particularly,
Mhm.
because a lot of people kind of shy away with the reentry part.
Mhm.
So that kind of deters people from signing up.
And how about the funding for the program? What's that look like? Is that-
The funding, like Goodwill, they pay me to facilitate and to partner with people. So it's people,
Is there state funding or county funding?
no, at this time, no, it would be nice. But no,
There's nothing in any of our circuit court probation or county budgets for this?
it'd be awesome because a lot of my guys are homeless,
Sure.
and a lot of them have lack of adequate food sources, clothing. And I can only give out so many vouchers
Sure.
a year.
And do you help find them a job and stuff? So they can.
It'd be nice if I could get everyone a job. They usually get jobs with the temp agencies, try to get hired in. They don't get hired in because they find out that they're a felon or that they have a misdemeanor. So that's a barrier for them. And then a lot of people, like one of my guys, he came straight out of prison. We got him hired at a factory, and then they called him a week after he was hired, said that they didn't need him anymore because they found out everything that that was on his record.
So when Goodwill took this program over, they do the funding, they do all of the funding for this program, the expenses. Do they get grants or anything? Or I'm just
My
trying to
program
figure
at this moment does not have a full grant. I'm trying to write in for grants,
out- Mhm,
but the funding that I get is solely for the vital records.
mhm.
But I have people coming in to volunteer their time for
Sure.
those classes.
Mhm.
If you could get additional funding, grants or whatever, what do you see? What could you envision having for more support for what that program does?
Partnering with the community for jobs. It would be nice to have get my guys into housing, maybe have another shelter here. There's a waiting list for the shelter here. A lot of my guys are sleeping outside or couch surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you only do males?
No, I just say guys. I get men, but I get mostly men. but I do get a few ladies here and there.
Mhm.
That's even more difficult when you have the ladies. Because a lot of the ladies, their kids are in DCFS custody. So that's another barrier. They're trying to get their kids back after they come home from prison.
Probation, is that something they're required to do, or is it give them the option and?
We give them the option to do it. Yeah, unless it's something that would, unless it's court ordered by the judge, then they have to do it.
And sometimes this program is quarterly.
Yeah, but they're asked to do a job readiness type of program.
In the past, Mr. Helms, maybe you can help me. In the past, was there funding in any of our budgets, or did we?
Not for this program.
So we've never, the county's never. This program.
And how many of these gentlemen that come back out actually stay out or go back in?
A lot of them go back because they can't get jobs. So when you can't get a job, you revert to what you know. And that's either selling drugs, stealing, committing crime, or commit a crime and go have a roof over your head. That's what a lot of them do as well.
I know habits
Yeah.
are hard to,
Yes, and then it'll be nice to be able to have that connection before they get out of prison, so they can have someone to contact immediately. Because a lot of times they get out and they don't know which way to go.
and they don't have family
They
members.
don't have, a lot of them, some of them have family. Some of them, their family's not talking to them. You burn bridges.
I know that there's some businesses that are more accepting of returning citizens than others. Like Burner, for example. But I'm assuming transportation is an issue.
Yes.
They do. I don't know if they have those for, they used to, I don't know if they do anymore. Yeah.
Do you have regular business partners, are there employers here in the county that you've been working with and that have been good about hiring these folks?
Some of them are, since I work with, Workforce Connection is under the Goodwill umbrella, so I partner with them and they have business services people, that connect with different businesses.
Mhm.
Some of them can get jobs. It's sustaining that employment is difficult, but we only have a handful that get
Right.
those jobs. And a lot of times those employers will abuse that they know they're a felon. So so I'm gonna give you third shift, second shift, first shift. And so they don't have any consistency with their schedule. Who would like that?
Right. Well, maybe we could, put this on our, program to take a look at when we do, our budgeting. And, at least perhaps the county could look into some grants or something to help you.
Yeah, Lieutenant Governor's will probably be the best first point of contact because one of her patients is assisting in the justice system and helping people who are involved in it.
Who would be the best person to make that
I got a
contact?
contact at a UCCI thing. I got a card somewhere, so I'll find that and see if there's anything out there.
Maybe we could put in one of the requests for the UCCI to see if any other counties are obtaining any grants or have any funding or some program. That's it for me. Thank you. Thanks for your work. It's really important. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. McGee?
You're going on vacation?
Bahamas. I need it. I need it.
Make sure you get to Paradise Island.
Oh, okay.
That's near Nassau. It's where the casinos are.
Oh.
Jackie told me.
We didn't get, public defender.
Okay, well, he's here now.
Yep.
Me? Yes, it's on you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Time got away from me. That's what happens. The main news that I'm going to announce is that I submitted my resignation. It's the county. And I gave that to the judges Sunday night. So now there will be a process with my replacement, which I'm going to promote my first deputy, Travis Lutz, but there is a process that has to be gone through to get my replacement appointed. The reasons I'm doing this are there's legislation. Well, to start with, it is my intention before the end of the year to move back down, which is central Illinois. My parents live in Taylorville now. I grew up in a little town, a little south of that, Columbus. My parents are elderly. They're doing well. They recently moved into an assisted living, and you can wait till later. You gotta know it's too late. So it's time. I'm 59 years old, so I'm gonna just pick up some employment down there at a county public defender's office, I hope. But there's also way, so I needed to make this move. It's better that I make it now because there's legislation pending where appointment of the county's public defenders will no longer be a local. This is not legislation that I will know that would be acted upon at any time, but this is part of the general sort of liberal theory of criminal law that's sort of swept over us this decade or so, where the pendulum swung hard to the left on these sort of issues, where there's a thought process that the judges shouldn't be picking the main defender that appears before them. And in theory, that sounds very good. In reality, who else is going to pick somebody in Chicago that doesn't know or care about? I can't think of anything good about local control being, and who better than the judges? You don't want it to be. So anyway, it's best to do this now before the control because now the process will be our judges get together with the other circuit judges of the 15th Judicial Circuit, and they will appoint. There will be an interview process and so on. And for me personally, I can wait. I could find I got to sell my property. I got to get things moving. And if I don't get things moving, things won't get moving. I could see myself being here another year, still being a public defender, saying, well, I got to wrap this up and get moving. So, so it's time. I'm not ready to say my goodbyes. This may be my last meeting, depending on how fast that I'm going to remain as the head public defender until my appointment. Till the appointment for my replacement is made. So I don't know if that'll be before I see you again or not. And then I'm going to ask that person, which will hopefully be my first deputy, to employ me, to give me a job until I leave so I can stay insured and with the IMR, which I would think would be in November, December. So, no tears, Carl, no tears. Not ready to even start talking about what a pleasure it's been or anything like that. But that's obviously the primary thing going on in our office right now. Be some reshuffle. So, questions, concerns, or anything about anything?
Well,
else?
Brian, you know how I felt, because you and I, we did talk. Yeah, we're gonna be missed. Everybody should understand the reason why you do what you do. Okay, elderly folks, they come first. You do it like that. But I'm quite sure you will bounce back on your feet, Okay. Let's move on. We get the state's turn.
Yeah.
Carl.
Thank you. I guess the first thing I would say is I've been working with Byron for more than that. I worked with you back when you worked for a
I worked for 20 years in Rockford in a criminal defense firm before, and me and Carl worked against each other the whole time.
Yeah.
I wrote that in the kiss.
As a young
Really?
attorney, I learned an awful lot from Byron and, you know, that I've continued to learn from him through the years. And great attorney to work with. And I also commend him for taking the steps that he's taking now so that we can have a seamless transition. I don't know who will be the next head public defender. I'm confident that the judges will implement a fair process. And I know the deputy assistant public defender is very well qualified and would certainly have my recommendation. And I appreciate Byron staying on for a few years, few months. Years, a few months to help whoever that is grow into that role and to be there as a resource for them. And I think he'll probably be a resource for whoever it is, even after it's left. So, thank you, Byron. That being said, it's been a very busy time in the state's attorney's office. You've got my report in front of you. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about it, but otherwise I will let you move on to the more pleasant and charming circuit clerk.
Before we do that, can I just say something, Brian? So I shared that we had gotten our recertification today for drug court. And I just want to share that Byron was also very instrumental in drug court. He was awesome to have in there, great asset. So we'll definitely be missed. But I just thought of that when I saw this drug court letter, made me think about you. Said that. So thank you, but you definitely played a key role in helping us too.
Okay.
Good evening. We've been pretty busy too in our office. A few things that we have going on is CTI will be here the week of July 29th to work in courtroom 5/county boardroom. So that should be done by next month's meeting.
Who will be here?
CTI,
Which is what?
it's the company that runs the IT, that's done all our like our Zoom and our new TVs. I don't know if CTI actually means something, I'm sure it does. So in the IT grant, I also did new hearing assistant devices. So those are all put in 4 courtrooms, and that will be also in courtroom 5. We already had a person use it. So we have 3 hearing devices and 2 T-coil attachments that work with hearing aids, and those are in each courtroom. Our mobile app is out, so if anyone wants to download the circuit clerk's mobile app, you can. We are still working on getting the new order protection program going, but hopefully it should be up and running in the next couple of weeks. Leanne is our court administrator for the 15th district, and she is retiring. So she was our court disability coordinator. So now each county has to have their own court disability coordinators. And I'm the lucky person. So I've been doing training on that. And we already have a case that we will be hearing in the Shreveport Public Library because the wheelchair is too big to get into any of the doors at the courthouse. So that'll be happening next week. And to kind of piggyback with Joanne's thing with mental health, and I guess all of our offices we haven't talked either, but
Yeah.
I have been talking with the sheriff's office about having Erica, his social worker, maybe be available, because all of us in the court hear trauma, see the pictures. You get clerks coming out of court upset, trying not to cry or telling me they're up all night because they're thinking about a case. So the sheriff has agreed to let anybody, I'm sure it's any office, we should probably talk more.
All right.
If they come out and they're, feeling like they need to talk to somebody, they can call Erica. It's not like a long-term thing, but if they need to get some stress off or cry to somebody, but that she's available, so. That is all I have besides my report.
That's never been done before? It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. There's quite a few.
There is a service through our liability that is offered by our risk management for this as well. Mr.
That's the
Bell,
reason why I asked.
yeah, Mr. Bell has come and talked about it at department head meetings, but I can get you the information. If it's work-related trauma, they do have services.
The thing I like about Erica is most of the time, like, she's on site, not all the time, but a lot. Like, I think it's more, now you're feeling it. You're not feeling it in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, so you can get in for an appointment.
It's like a tele.
So, okay.
Nice service.
And she's someone we know and we could trust. And that's really a wonderful thing. Go ahead, yeah.
She also frequently has a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably a smaller part of a larger issue that I should let know that what a great job your sheriff is doing for your county. If you look around our courthouse, you see things improving that were not noticed, that I didn't notice, that weren't noticed for decades. Getting a counselor out of jail is phenomenal. I mean, that saves, those jailers aren't, they're not mental health. And that's where these problems get dumped. We've got someone in-house who can go out there and deal with that. He has really done a lot of really progressive things that we've needed for a long time. That's a thing.
Is some of this related to people that come to go to court, the backlash that they get from them, or what?
We have voices and victims advocates and so forth. I don't think she's at this point services anyone besides county employees and delicate responsibilities like inmates and so forth. Police officers, I know she used to work with the police department.
Good practice with the sheriff's office, sheriff's.
But as far as courthouse, victims and so forth, I
We have our victim and witness coordinator, but I don't remember ever sending victims to the social worker. Sometimes she's there, but
No, I was relating to what Chanel was talking about how some people feel about certain cases and stuff like that.
I think they've always felt that way. I know when I was in court, there's cases I remember that keep you up at night. And there's just those ones where, so one instance was a sexual abuse case, and my clerk, the victims were the same age as my clerk's children. And, you just have to sit there and
Okay.
listen to it and
Okay.
see
Okay.
pictures and.
Okay.
Just from coming from that field, a lot of times through different conferences and stuff, they do the vicarious trauma topics and, tools for coping and different things. But when you deal with that on the day-to-day, it's.
And the court system doesn't offer anything like this to the employees.
They have not, to my knowledge. I think we're just more talking about it now and getting it out.
Yeah. They're just seeing more of it and
Right.
watching how they're handling
Yeah.
different situations, and especially with the losing clients and overdoses. We work with someone for a long time, and then
No, courthouse employees have insurance, so we can get referred for psychological help and treatment and so forth, but that's not someone in-house right now that you can speak to without from the primary or something.
And I don't know if a lot of it is like long-term stuff, or it's just like in the moment, it'll bother you and then kind of fades, but then there's another phase. So.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else?
Just
Oh,
to piggyback on that for just a second, but vicarious trauma or secondary traumatic stress is prevalent in lots of fields, and it is starting to come out or come to light and how it affects people, because they usually just focused on, like social workers or EMS, and now we're talking more how it filters down to kind of all facets in different areas. one thing that I found has helped with my employees is during onboarding, we put it out there. Like they watch videos of people who've experienced it and, like when you're talking about the child abuse, like they couldn't even give their child a bath anymore because of these child abuse cases that they had heard. And so like letting them know, like, this is how serious it can be. And then this is what you do about it. So they start talking about like self-care and then finding self-care opportunities, which I know is hard in the office, but, letting them know that it will happen, in the field, I think that's at least helped in, where I work. So, that's, I don't know if there's some kind of training or whoever, if this county social worker, she has something out there like videos or something. But that's, if they watch that video and I walk in like, so what do you think? And they're like, really that bad? Like, it can't be that bad. And like, this is why we talk about it. Because people have no idea. Who would know working at the courthouse that you're going to experience that? Who would think that?
Is any of that covered underneath of the strategic plan through the different committees?
We talked about that a little bit yesterday. It's interesting because I brought up the EAP services and and what other benefits are offered for health and wellness. And the theory was, do all county employees know about the health and wellness programs? And obviously they don't. I mean, both of you are like, oh, we have EAP services. So how can we get that information out to them more? So it is under the health and
And
Social.
services. Yes, we are addressing.
Anything else? Nothing?
No.
Okay. Youth diversion fee is $3,914.87. The balance as of right now. Have you got anything back from the people that did receive?
not since last disbursement.
All right, let's move on. There's no old business, or move on to new business. Approval of amending access to justice CR.
I wanted to thank you for approving the grant last month. It was due the end of June. I can't remember the exact date. But about a week before it was due, I had one of my court navigator trainings for the self-represented litigant grant. And there is a conference in Utah that is going to be to explore and develop successful strategies and new thinkings for access to justice, like a self-help boot camp. And they informed us that we could apply for the expenses for this trip. So I went ahead and amended the grant because it was due and added, it was $1,235 extra to attend the conference. So I'm asking that you approve that. I don't know if I will even get it granted, but I wanted to put it in there because I would like to go if I do get that part of the grant. So it's just an additional $1,235 and it would all be expenses for the conference. And that's in September.
So you were able to amend it and get it out in
Yes.
time for
Yeah.
the deadline?
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to.
Been moved by Mr. Hart.
Second.
Second by Ms. Anthony. Any questions? Yeah, Bill.
You sure that's gonna be enough money? How about your, per diem, like food and stuff?
I'm not 100%, but I had to just estimate. So I just estimated what I thought the airfare would be in the hotel and the conference. We'll have to see if it's granted, then I'll know more. If it's like a couple $100 more, money in my funds, but if it's a lot, then.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is there anything we could do to make sure that you are able to go? Assume, up to some amount that we put in extra funds short of that. Do you have your checkbook on me? Mine's way back there.
Not that I'm aware of, and I haven't, I mean, we do have some funds, we just haven't spent that much money on conferences. I don't know if the clerk's ever gone any farther than Springfield. It's something that I thought if I had the opportunity to go, I would.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Move on to approval of resolution establishing the salary of office of state's attorney. Could we do them both? Okay.
Because one's tied to the other.
And the office of the public defender. Carl.
Every year around July, maybe a little before July, the state announces the new rate for the salary of the state's attorney. There are two offices that are pegged to the salary of the state's attorney, and that's the public defender and the sheriff. So when they indicate the new rate to the state's attorney, it also changes those individuals' salaries. You should have the resolution in front of you, as well as the letter from the state office indicating what the salary should be. I believe we are all paying a health insurance contribution of 24%, which was an issue last year. I don't know if it's going to be an issue this year or not. I guess that's up to you, but I'd be happy to answer. And the state's attorneys is 100% reimbursed by the state. The public defender is 66.6% reimbursed by the state. I don't recall to what level the sheriff's is reimbursed, but that's not in front of me, so cool.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Anthony. Second. Second by Mr. Hart. Any questions?
Yeah, I make a motion to amend and put the insurance back in both of them, so we have a paper trail from year to year. So we don't have to go backwards to look. And anyhow, we're gonna be getting a new public defender, so it would be, nice to have it in there like we do with the other office holders and stuff like that.
Second that amendment.
I move by Ms. Hadley, second by Ms. Anthony. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Now you get a vote on the main motion.
Now we vote on the main motion.
And, Ms. Newcomer, I'll take care of making that.
Okay. Well, and I was gonna say, I wasn't sure which percentage, are we doing the county employee percentage?
No, it's
Ours
20.
was 24, which is
Okay.
higher than the.
Elected official.
Yeah.
Just for clarification.
Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. That it?
Well, I got.
Okay, all right. Public comment. I wanted to say, excuse me for being late tonight. We had a 7-on-7 football tournament in Oak Brook. We took about 30 boys and it was overnight. I'm tired. So I'm, please excuse me, but I liked it because we took young boys, something positive, and it was 4 to each room. They behaved real well. Went in the room because game curfew 10 o'clock. Go by and check, make sure they was in the room. The room was clean. They acted very professional. I was really impressed. In these days and time, how our young boys are, do something positive like that. Of course, I had to drive a school bus on top of that too, plus coach. But anyway, you ready to go home? Entertain a adjournment. Motion to adjourn. Move by Mr. Hart. Second by Ms. Anthony. Good night.
What was that? I spent a lot of time in that area.